Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss theory of inference. Okay. So let us consider if Ramu is a good boy, then Sita is a good girl. So the first statement is if Ramu is a good boy, then Sita is a good girl. So my assumption is Ramu is a good boy. Then what is the conclusion we are going to get? Ramu is a good boy, then Sita is a good girl. I have given my assumption is Ramu is a good boy. Then automatically gives the conclusion as Sita is a good girl. Sita is a good girl. So these statements and conclusion, the first two statements if you mix, you are going to get this conclusion, Sita is a good girl. So this one we are going to discuss. So how the premises will be given, then how the conclusion we have to get it. Okay. So let us consider Ram mathematical way. P as Ramu is a good boy, Q is Sita is a good girl. Then so P conditional Q, that means if Ramu is a good boy, then Sita is a good girl. That mathematically I am writing it as P conditional Q. Second statement is what? Ramu is a good boy. Already I have given. That means P I have given. So what is the conclusion you are going to get? Sita is a good girl. That means Q is you are going to get the conclusion. So first two premises. So the last one Q is the conclusion. So P conditional Q, and if P, then the conclusion is Q. This you have to remember. Okay. So next one. So first two are the premises. This is the conclusion. Okay. So these two premises and the conclusion together we call it as argument. So this is a premises and this is the second premises. This is the conclusion. So both the premises and conclusion you are calling it as argument. So using the truth table also we will do this problem. Let us consider. So P and Q. So automatically truth table values. These are the values. P conditional Q. P conditional Q means already have discussed. T first statement is true, second statement is false, then false you are going to get. Remaining all the cases it is true. Therefore this one is false, remaining all are true. So P as usual you are writing, Q already as usual you are writing. So here the premises how P conditional Q, P Q is there. So in that order only I am writing these truth values. So P conditional Q, P Q. Now what we have to do is the last column is the conclusion column Q. So what you have to do is you have to circle the false values. You have to circle the false values. So now next what you have to do, you have to round the corresponding premises values. What are the premises? P conditional Q and P only. So P conditional Q and P. So the corresponding values you have to round it. So these are the values you have to round it. Now what we have to do is in this one at least one false should be there. Here one false is there. So no problem. You tick it. Here also one false is there. Therefore at least one false is there. Therefore you can say that at least one false is there. Therefore given one is a valid argument. So given one P conditional Q, P, and the conclusion Q is nothing but a valid argument. Okay. This is a proving using the truth tables. Okay. So now validity using the truth tables we will do some problems. Show that SRR is tautologically implied by PRQ and P conditional R and Q conditional S. So first what you have to do is so next we will consider this problem. P conditional Q and not P and Q. So first premises is P conditional Q, second premises is not P, and the conclusion is Q. So using the truth tables we are doing. So P both true and both false, alternately true and false. So next P conditional Q. So P conditional Q means already we have discussed first statement is true, second statement is false, then you are going to get false. In the remaining all the cases it is true. Okay, is it clear? Next, the second premises in order is not P. So negation of the P column, so two false and two truths. So conclusion column Q, so that means T, but alternately TF. Okay, next what you have to do, you have to round the circle the false values, round the false values. Next what you have to do, how many premises are there? We have the 1 and 2 premises. What are that one? P conditional Q and not P, that means these two columns. The corresponding premises one you have to circle it. So what I have discussed already, when we can say that it is a valid conclusion, when we can say that it is a valid conclusion, at least one false should be there. So here at least one false means two false also no problem, at least one false. Okay, no, not a problem at all. Here all both are true, so at least one false should be there, then only we can say that it is a valid conclusion. So here at least one false not there, therefore here it is there at least one false, but here it is not there, therefore it is not a valid conclusion. That means P conditional Q and not P, if you apply that one, Q is not a valid conclusion. Okay, okay, next we will do one more problem. So first premises is not P conditional Q, second premises is Q, and conclusion is P. Is it valid or not, he is asking. So let us do this problem using the truth tables. So first one is the as usual truth values. Next one is the negation of P. Negation of P means both false and the remaining are true. Next one is the not P conditional Q. Not P, where here this is the not P column, this is the Q column. So not P to Q. So conditional already we have discussed implication. First statement is true, second statement is false. First statement is true, second statement is false. Not P to Q, that's why true and false. Therefore here you have to get it false, remaining all are true. Okay, next to Q, second premises is Q, that means you write the values alternately TF. So conclusion is P, so you write both truths and both false. Next what you have to do, in the last column or in the conclusion column, what you have to circle the false values. Next the corresponding premises values you have to circle it. These are the corresponding premises values. Premises, first premises, second premises, not P conditional Q. At least one false should be there. Here both are true, at least one false fails here. So therefore this is not a valid conclusion or invalid argument. Okay, next one, first premises is not P, second premises is P double implication Q, and the conclusion is not P and Q. So first we will consider the truth values of P and Q, P comma Q. Next P and Q, and symbol. Then what you have to remember, any and symbol, both should be true, then only true. Both should be true means this is the true, remaining all are false. Next one is not P. So not P means negation of the first column, like this. Second premises is P condition double implication Q. P double implication Q means, so both should be true or both should be false, then only we can say that it is true. Both should be true, both should be false, then it is true. In the remaining case it is false. So next one is the negation of P and Q. P and Q already we did that one. Negation of this one means true will become false, false will become true. So this is the conclusion column. What we have to do, we have to circle the false values. Only one false is there, circle it. So the premises is not P and P double implication Q, so you have to round these two values. So at least one false should be there. So at least one false is there. Therefore, the given one is a valid argument. Okay. Next one. First premises is not P or Q. Second premises is negation of Q and not R. Third statement is not R, and the conclusion is not P. Is it valid or not? So as usual, here P, Q, R. That means we come across the three P, Q, R, three state premises are there. So how many these values you are going, truth values you are going to get means 2 cube rows will be there. 2 cube, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 rows will be there. Okay. Next to not P or Q. So negation of Q and not R and not P. So for that supporting we did this some values. Okay. Negation of P. Negation of P means you write all 4 false values and remaining true. Negation of R. So alternately false and true like this. Next to Q and not R. Q and not R means Q is this column, not R is this column. So both together. Q and not R means and means both should be true. Both should be true. TF, TT, that means both should be true. Here you will get T. Again both should be true. Both should be, here also you will get a T. So how many truths you are going to get? Only 2 truths. Remaining all are false. Next one is the here onwards the first premises, not P or Q. Not P means where it is, not P here, Q is here. These 2 columns, not P or Q. R means what it says, at least one should be true. Here one should be true. So here also one should be true. Here both should be false. That means false you are going to get. False. So you are going to get the both should be false. Therefore false. Here also both should be false. Therefore false. Here remaining all the cases it is true. Okay. Is it clear? Next one is the negation of Q and not R. Q and not R already I did that one. So negation, if you apply false will become true, true will become false like this. Next one again not R, not R, you write the not R values here. Okay. Next again not P values. So negation of the P values, 4 falses and 4 truth values. So next what you have to do, you have to circle the false values. Next what you have to do, you have to circle round the corresponding premises values. How many premises? 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. These only you have to circle it. Next what we have discussed, at least one should be false. Here one should be false. Here also one should be false. Here also 2 should be false, no problem. Here also 1 should be false. Therefore the given argument is valid. Okay. Next, some equivalences it is important while using the direct method problems. That means using the equivalences and implications we will do some problems. What are that problems? Let us discuss. So already these equivalences, you know, some are very important that we will discuss. I will discuss. Double negation of P equal to P. This you remember. Anyway, commutative, associative, so anyway you know. Next one is, if you apply the negation. Next one, E16, P conditional Q can be written as not P or Q. This is very important. Okay. P conditional Q can be written as not P or Q. Next one is P conditional Q, E18. If you want to reverse it, not Q condition not P. So while doing the problems you are able to get one by one. No problem. We will move to the next one, implications. These are the some implications are there. So let us discuss some of the most important implications. Okay. modus ponens. This one already have discussed using one example. If Ramu is a good boy, then Sita is a good girl. That model is the, you call it as modus ponens. Okay, next one is P conditional Q and not Q. If you come across like this premises, the conclusion is not P. How you come across it means Q and Q will get cancelled. This not goes to the P. That means not P. So always remember where I have written P. P conditional Q, P. So below P I have written P. So PP will get cancelled Q. If you come across with Q, Q I am writing here on the right hand side below the Q only. So QQ will get cancelled. So not goes to the P, not P you come across with. Next one it is PRQ and not P. PRQ not conditional. PRQ if you come across with and not P, P and not P will get cancelled. You will get Q. This you call it as disjunctive syllogism. Next one is hypothetical syllogism. That is P conditional Q. Again Q is Q to R. Therefore QQ will get cancelled. P conditional R. So there is no cancellation at all. For our understanding only I am saying it is cancelled. Okay. So next one is PRQ and P goes to R and Q goes to R. Then the conclusion is R. Okay, that you have also have remember. So next one is, so these P and Q can be written as P. Okay, this whenever you come across with the problems I will discuss. So show that R is a valid reference from the premises P conditional Q. So Q conditional R and P. So what he is saying is that R is a valid inference. So our conclusion should be R. How many premises he has given? P conditional Q, Q conditional R and P. 3 premises he has given. Conclusion is R we have to prove. For that one we have, so first what you have to do is the not using the truth tables, using the previously I have discussed implications and equivalences. So using that one we have to do the problem. First premises, first column is premises, second column is not serial number, this is the statement number, third column is argument, fourth column is the rule. That means justification, which rule you are using. That means here one thing you have to remember, here in the court the lawyer will say that according to the penal code so and so, in the book of so and so, in the 360 page this is the amendment. So in this way here also what you have to do is that you have to say the which implication you have used and which equivalence you have used, always you have to discuss here in the rule column. Okay, so first what you have to do is the P conditional Q premises, this premises he has given. So I have taken P conditional Q. I am saying it as a rule P. That means whenever I will introduce a premises, I will write it as rule P. Always remember rule P means in cinemas if you some hero is introduced, so the director will write on the screen, so newly introduced. So newly introduced Salman Khan, newly introducing some Tamanna, like that. So here also if you introduce a new premises you have to write rule as rule P. Okay, rule P. Okay, no problem. Next what you have to do is the I am taking the third premises P. Okay, this is also new premises I am introducing, therefore rule P. This is also new, rule P. So if you look at these two premises together, so Ramu is a good boy and Sita is a good girl and Ramu is a good boy, then the conclusion is Sita is a good girl. That means P conditional Q. P means PP will get cancelled, you come across with Q. So how you got means here premises 1 comma 2 premises I am combining, that's why you have to write it here. Here anyway you will get the serial number only, no problem. So here you are getting Q. Here if you come across with rule T, rule 2 means T means that is derived from the previous arguments. This q, how you got? By combining these two premises you got the q. That's why rule t means derived from the previous arguments, like that anamata. So which premises, which statements you have used, which statements means these are the statement numbers. Statement 1 and statement 2 I have used I11. Which implication I have used? I11 what it says? P conditional q, p gives q, that is the I11. Okay, so next what you left with the remaining new premises? Q conditional r. So this is also new premises, that's why rule p, newly introduced is rule p. So if you come across with, now it is q conditional r. So first these two completed, next q you got, next premises is I have introduced q conditional r. If you look at these two, this is also the p conditional q and p model. So what you left, q will get cancelled, you are going to get r. So this is rule t. From which premises you have clubbed? 3 and 4 statements clubbed. 3 and 4 statements clubbed. So implication number is I11. So this is about the, therefore r you got, therefore so you mixed all the premises and you got the r, therefore r is a valid inferences from the premises. Okay, next we will go to one more problem. Show that r and p r q is a valid conclusion. That means this is a conclusion for these premises. How many premises he has given? 4 premises he has given. So first we have to introduce one premises. So I am introducing the p conditional m. So I am introducing, therefore rule is rule p. So next what I am introducing? Not m I am introducing, therefore it is also a rule p. So m, below m I am writing not m. So mm will get cancelled, not will go to the p. Therefore what is the conclusion you are going to get? So not p you are going to get, not p you are going to get. How you did that? Means by combining the two premises, therefore 1 comma 2. Anyway this statement number automatically continues. So this is a derived from 1 comma 2 statements, therefore rule t. 1 comma 2 I12 what it says? P conditional q and not q gives not p. So next what you left with means p conditional m and not m already have used. What you left with? P r q conditional r. So not p is there. So if you look at this one, p r q, if you introduce p r q, if you combine these two, third and fourth statements, p r q and not p gives q only. P and not p will get cancelled. So what you left with is q you are going to get. So p r q is also over. So what you left with is q conditional r statement. So now you introduce that one, q conditional r. So newly introducing premises rule p. So if you look at these two statements, p conditional q and p will get cancelled, q and q will get cancelled, you come across with r. So rule t. Which statements you have combined? 5 and 6, therefore 5 and 6. Which implication I have used? I11. Okay, I11. So r we got, but what we have to prove is r and prq you have to prove. R and prq you have to prove. So if you do this one, fourth statement prq is there, seventh statement is r is there. So according one rule is there, if r and p and q both two statements are there, we can combine these two, r and prq we can write. So that is the implication I9. What is the implication? It is saying I9. So if you go through the I9 implication, pq is there, that can be written as p and q. So what he is asking, r and prq only. Here also we are getting the same thing. That means this is a valid conclusion from the premises. Okay, next one. Show that RRS follows from so and so he has given. So now we have to introduce one premises. What I am doing is the CRD conditional not H I am introducing. I am introducing a premises, that's why rule P. If I am deriving from the previous premises, that is rule T. Okay. So next what I am doing is the from not H to A and not B. So if you look at this one, these two, P conditional Q and Q conditional R. P conditional to Q, Q conditional R. That means these two will get cancelled. What you left with is CRD to A and not B. So you are deriving, that's why it is rule T. Which statements you are combining? 1, 2. Implication number is I13 implication you are using. I13 what it says? P conditional Q and Q conditional R gives P conditional R. Now what I am introducing is A and not B conditional RRS. Now again you look at these two, P conditional Q, Q conditional R. These two will get cancelled. CRD to RRS you are going to get. So you have completed all these premises or not. Just look at this one. So you have the 4 premises, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 4 you have used the 3. You left with the CRD. Now you introduce the CRD. You are introducing therefore rule P. So this is in the model P conditional Q, P model. Therefore these two will get cancelled. You are going to get it as R or S. So you are deriving therefore rule T. Which statements you are combining? 5 and 6. Which implication you are using? I11. Okay. So you got R or S. Therefore this is a valid conclusion. Similarly, show that S or R is tautologically implied by so and so. So PRQ. So I am introducing PRQ as rule P. Next P conditional. So if you look at this one, PRQ I am introducing as rule P. So if you look at this one, P conditional Q can be written as not PRQ. So here what I did is the PRQ, I am writing it as not PRQ. Why I have written like this means, look at this one, P conditional Q. If you want write in terms of not RR, so P, if you want to remove implication and put R, P will become not P, and we are adding one negation to the first one. So implication is removed and R Q as usual. That means here also if I want to remove, so again from right hand side to left hand side also you think. So not P, if I want to write inside in terms of the implication model, so you first term you apply the negation not of not P, P in place of our right negation Q as usual. So you could have P or Q is there. So you have to apply one negation for this one not P in place of our negation implication Q as usual. So this is you are deriving therefore rule T. So from which statement? Statement number 1, E1 and E16. If you go through the equivalents you come across with. So next one. Now Q conditionaless, I am introducing new premises Q conditionaless, rule P. So if you look at this one, QQ will get cancelled. You come across with not P to S, not P to S. The rule is I13. From which statements you are doing 2 and 3 I am combining. Okay. Next not P and S. So PRQ completed, Q conditional S also completed. What you left with is PRR. Sorry, P conditional R is there. So I have to introduce the P conditional R. Before that one I am simplifying this one, not P conditional S. Not P conditional S, what I am doing is the P conditional Q can be written as not Q conditional not P. So I am reversing this one. So S will become not S, not P will become not of not P, therefore P it will become P. So not S conditional not P using this rule. So next I will introduce the P conditional R now. So not S to P, P to R. If you mix these 5 and 6 statements, what you are going to get? So P conditional Q, Q conditional R, Q Q will get cancelled, P conditional R. Therefore what you are going to get? Not S conditional R you are going to get. P P will get cancelled, not S conditional R. So but what we have to prove is SRR. SRR we have to prove. Here we got not S conditional R. So if implication I want to remove. If you want to remove the implication, just check this one. If I want to remove the implication, what I am doing is, first for the first one I am adding a not. Second implication, remove the implication and put R, Q as usual. Here also I want to remove the implication, means not S will become S. In place of implication write R, R. Therefore this is rule T. Which statement I have simplified from 7? Implication number is, equivalence is 16. So using the equivalence, what it says, even 6 P conditional Q is nothing but not P or Q. So P will become not P, Q as usual, conditional implication become R. So here also not S will become S. So this is the way to solve the problem. Next, show that T and S can be derived from P conditional Q, Q conditional not R, or P or T or S, something is there. So this is T and S. Okay. So first what I am introducing is P conditional Q I am introducing. So this is rule P because I am introducing. So next one is the Q conditional not R I am introducing. So Q Q will get cancelled. What you left with is, so P Q Q R, Q Q will get cancelled, P conditional R you are going to get. So implication number is I13. So P conditional not R. So these two premises we have completed. So P conditional not R you come across with. So next, this P conditional not R can be written as not R conditional P. So P conditional Q can be written as not R conditional P. So So P conditional not R. So if you want to write it as Q conditional P model, not R you write it, P you write it. Both sides you have to apply one negation. So not R to P means you have to apply one negation both sides. So not of not R, what you are going to get? R conditional not P. So this is rule T. From the third statement you are doing. So equivalence 18. So equivalence 18 means this is P conditional Q can be written as not Q conditional not P. So okay, R conditional not P you come across with. So P conditional not R ni I am rewriting it as R conditional not P. So now what I am introducing is the R premises I am introducing. Now we look at these two. So this is P conditional Q and P model. So P conditional Q and P means PP will get cancelled, Q you are going to get. So therefore not P you are going to get. So not P you are going to get. So anyway rule T, 4 and 5 statements combined I11. Next, if you look at this one, so rule P, that means I am introducing P R T and S. Here not R, this is T and S. P R T and S I am introducing. So if you look at this problem, P R Q not P, P R Q not P, what it says, P and not P will get cancelled, Q left with. This is the implication I10. So here P not P will get cancelled, you left with T and S. T and S. So this is rule T. From which statement you have combined 6 and 7, I10 you have used. So that we have to prove only na T and S. Okay. Next what we are going to discuss is rule CP. Rule CP stands for conditional proof. So rule CP, show that R conditional S can be derived from P conditional Q conditional S, not R, RP and Q. So R conditional S, R conditional S. So in rule CP here show that this conclusion should have one implication. Conclusion should have one implication. So then what we have to consider is the take the left hand side as the conclusion. That means R is one conclusion. Sorry, R you have to consider as one additional premises. You have to consider. That means R I am considering it as one additional premises. Already he has given premises 1, 2, 3 premises he has given. Now I am introducing the new premises R as new premises, additional premises. Okay. Now we have to introduce original premises. So I am introducing a not R RP. Not R RP. This is the rule P. So if you look at this one, not R RP. So not R RP, here R is there. This R I am rewriting it as not of not R. So here some models are there. Anyway, we will go through this one. Not R RP also can be written as R conditional P. Not P R Q. This is not P R Q. Not P R Q can be written as P conditional Q. That means R conditional P. So R conditional P and R. What happens? 1 and 3 statements you combine these two. RR will get cancelled. You come across with P. So that is I11. I11 what it says. So next I am introducing the P conditional Q conditional S. Now it is fourth statement is P, fifth statement is P conditional Q conditional S. PP will get cancelled. You are going to get Q conditional S. Okay, Q conditional S. Next, now the last premises Q. So Q conditional S and Q. QQ will get cancelled. You left with S. So what I did is I have taken the left hand side of the conclusion and I got the right hand side of the conclusion. So this is the way to using the rule CP. Therefore left hand side of the conclusion I have taken, right hand side of the conclusion I got. Therefore this is a valid conclusion. R conditional S is a valid conclusion. Therefore R conditional S is a valid conclusion. So next, P conditional Q conditional S using the CP rule from these two premises. So the left hand side part of the conclusion is what? P. Therefore this one you have to consider as additional premises. Already you have the two premises. This is the additional premises. So guest appearance. So what P I am introducing as the additional premises. Now I am taking the P conditional Q conditional R as rule P. Okay. So these, if you combine these two, PP will get cancelled. Q conditional R you come across with. Next what I am introducing is the Q conditional R conditional S. Q conditional R conditional S. So Q conditional R, Q conditional R conditional S. It is, there is no formula to combine these 3 and 4 statements. Therefore what I am doing is I am removing the implication. Why? What I am doing is the Q conditional R means if you can write this one as R conditional something, problem will be solved. To get that one R, first I am doing this one. I am removing the implication. To remove this implication, P conditional Q. If you want to remove the implication, not P or Q. Therefore not Q or, again I am removing the implication not R or S. So next what I am doing is the not associative law. I am using the associative law. Not Q or not R or S. Next what I have to do is the I should get R first. Therefore I am using the commutative law. Not R or not Q or S. Now next I am doing the again using the associative law. Not R or not Q or S, using the associative law. Now if you look at this one, this is a not P or Q model. Not P or Q model means R conditional Q conditional S, if you simplify. So if you look at the third statement, Q conditional R conditional something. So RR will get cancelled. So what you left with is Q conditional S you left with. RR will get cancelled, Q conditional S. So we have one implication. So what is that one is the, this can be written as q conditional s, you can write it. This is the equivalence 19 p conditional q conditional r can be written as p conditional q conditional r using that law. So q and q is nothing but q, therefore q conditional s. So using the rule T, implication I1 what it says, p and q is nothing but p, so q conditional s. So I have taken the left hand side of the conclusion, I got the right hand side of the conclusion, therefore the given conclusion is a valid conclusion. Therefore the given conclusion is a valid conclusion. So next problem, if you come across with he never given the premises and instead of the giving the premises he has given the some sentences, so you have to convert the sentences to the premises and do the problem. So something he has given. So if you look at this one, if then like that he has given. So now we are converting. What are the different statements are there? First P, you send me an email message, one different statement. Q, I will finish writing the program. R, I will go to sleep early. Yes, I will wake up feeling refreshed. So now we convert the first statement in terms of PQRS. If you send me an email message, if then means conditional you will get. So this is P, I will finish writing the program is Q, therefore what you left with is P conditional Q. Second one, if you don't send an email message, don't send means negation, that means negation P conditional R. R means I will go to sleep early, R. Next third one, if I go to sleep early, I go to sleep early means R. I will wake up feeling refreshed, that is yes, that means R conditional yes. Lead to the, this is the last statement is the conclusion. If I don't finish sorting the program, if I don't, that means negation of Q, negation of Q conditional yes. That means these are the first three are the premises, the last one is the conclusion. Okay, so first three are the premises and last one is the conclusion. Using CP rule, what we have discussed, take the left hand side of the conclusion as additional premises. So I am introducing the additional premises. So not Q is there, now we introduce P conditional Q. So P conditional Q and not Q, Q will get cancelled, you left with not P. This is I12, P conditional Q not Q will give not P. Next, what I am introducing is not P conditional R. So this how it looks like this, P conditional Q P. So P conditional Q P means not P will get cancelled, you left with R. Not P will get cancelled, you left with R. So P conditional Q completed, not P conditional R completed. Now you introduce R conditional S. RR will get cancelled, you left with ES. You left with S. So I have taken the left hand side part of the conclusion, I got right hand side of the conclusion. Therefore the given conclusion is a valid conclusion. This is about the CP rule. So thank you very much.